Alright, so today we're gonna react to Little Uzi Vert lost albums. I'm gonna say files, but albums. So yeah, bro, hold on. Why my camera is this low? Okay, goddamn. Let's jump in, bro. Let's jump in the description.
A wave of new rappers would make an impact in music and be responsible for creating a subgenre called SoundCloud rap. While a few of these rappers would later fall into obscurity, like Lil Xan, 6ix9ine, Famous Dex, and more, a lot of these rappers from this era would later go on to become mainstream, like Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Lil Yachty, Ski Mask the Slump God, Playboi Carti, and Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert would get his first breakthrough with the release Money Longer in February 2016. The lead single first mixtape Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World, which would debut at number 37 on the Billboard 200 chart. From that point on, Uzi's career would skyrocket, with his biggest boost being EXO Tour Life in early 2017, reaching number 7 on Billboard Top 100 charts and becoming one of the best-selling emo rap songs ever. Throughout this journey, Uzi would release many albums with different styles and such, but would also have many scrapped albums, possibly more scrapped albums than released albums. Strap in as we'll take a look at Uzi and nearly all of his scrapped albums since his start in making music.
You always wondered why that didn't exist. Now you can make it.
Collaboration mixtape with producer and rapper Rachel Flair first worked on after Lil Uzi Vert dropped his debut EP called Purple Thoughts. A track list for the mixtape was released in 2014 at some point and was set to release on July 5th of that year, but this would never happen and the mixtape would eventually be scrapped for unknown reasons. While the project never dropped, a lot of the songs from the mixtape would be released, like 400 Degrees, Track 2, Whoa, Track 3, Faded, Track 5, and Pretty Boy Anthem with Lil B, Track 6. And the first track would leak in late 2022 called Servant featuring Key. The only song unavailable from the project is track 4 called Uzi, but everything else has been archived successfully. Fast forwarding from 2014 to 2017, specifically on October 19th, when Lil Uzi Vert and NBA Youngboy would collaborate and make an album together called Too Fast, recording all the songs from the album in just one day, and Youngboy would share some snippets from the album on his Instagram. While some songs from this album would be released as singles per Youngboy's album at the time, the collaboration album between the two would be scrapped at some point in 2018 for unknown reasons, and not much else is known about the album, unfortunately. 1629 was a collaboration album between Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti.
Hold on, please. We need 1629, bro. 1629. I just did a reaction of this. Where is the album, bro? Hurry up with it. I mean, I don't know what happened with the album, but
that was first announced through Snapchat and Twitter by Carti in September 2017. In the same month, the duo planned to go on tour together for the album, but unfortunately, it was cancelled shortly after its announcement because Uzi wanted to, quote, focus. Major sessions between the two would occur in January 2018 for the album, and according to Carti in an interview from July, they recorded around 100 songs together. A single for the album would be released onto SoundCloud called Chinatown on September 25th, but would be taken down soon after for unknown reasons, and after this, the two would go quiet about any progress on the album. Despite all of this, throughout the years, the two would subtly hint at the project, and recently, the two started working together again on new music. On January 2nd, 2018, or January 3rd, depending on some sources, Lil Uzi Vert and producer Weezy would finish a collab tape together within 12 hours and record 9 songs for the project. And on January 4th, Uzi would announce the tape was 12 hours away from completion.
12 hours?
After recording sessions finished for Tsunami Island, Uzi and Weezy immediately started recording with Carti in the same studio for 1629 between January 3rd and 4th. On May 24th, Weezy would announce on Instagram the collaboration tape would release on Christmas 2019. A whole year and 7 months
until it wasn't dropped. Man, it's like making a movie and then we're working on a movie and the movie gets delayed, you know?
Ahead, possibly a typo. However, Weezy would later tell fans to stop leaking the songs from the project, and after this, any updates would go quiet about the collaboration. It's unknown what the fate of this project was, but it's most likely because of the leaks like Weezy mentioned.
Yeah, there's so many leaks, bro. Stop leaking.
Before Eternal Take was officially released on March 6, 2020, the album went through many different changes over the course of 2 years. The concept of Eternal Take first occurred in January 2018, but it wouldn't take until July 16th for Uzi to officially tease the project for the first time. The theme of the album was meant to have a spacey vibe, but also catchy beats with help from producers like Harper, Oogie Mane, Forza, and more. On July 31st, 2018, Uzi would reveal the album cover for the project, which immediately became controversial due to its striking similarity to a logo by a cult called Heaven's Gate. The cult's most infamously known for the mass of 39 members in 1997 after believing they would be transported onto an alien spaceship for a better place. The controversy eventually led to former members of Heaven's Gate threatening Uzi with a lawsuit over the album cover. Despite this, Uzi continued to promote the album, releasing a lead single for the project called New Paddock on September 18th and performed new songs from the album at a concert on December 8th. The album was set to release on March 24th, 2019, but this would unfortunately never happen due to Lil Uzi Vert having major issues with his label, along with many other issues like leaks and such.
There's so many leaks,
bro. The album on March 24th, the next day, on March 25th, Uzi would sign a management deal with another label called Rock Nation, owned by Jay-Z, for more freedom on his Eternal Take. On March 28th, Uzi would release a song in protest to his label Generation Now called Free Uzi, with high-pitched vocals.
I'm not gonna lie with you, I'll be glazing Uzi back then, because I listened to old leaks, and Cardi too.
Copyright from Generation Now. Uzi would take a very different approach to the album, drawing inspiration from New York styles and having an East Coast flow, getting rid of that spacey feel the project originally had. Later that year, on December 12th, Uzi would release a single called Futsal Shuffle 2020, and after this, Uzi would return back to the spacey feel, but with a futuristic theme and a newer trap flow. Uzi would unexpectedly drop the album a week earlier than promised on March 6, 2020, and 7 days later would release a deluxe.
Already a deluxe?
On October 23rd, 2020, Uzi would reply to an Instagram comment asking him to go back to his 2016 to 2017 flow.
Okay,
to which he said,
okay, gosh, I will start tonight.
Nearly a month later, on November 17th, the same day the Pluto X Baby Pluto Deluxe released, Uzi would make many tweets talking about a new project he's working on called Forever Young. Between December 17th to 23rd, Uzi would do many Instagram live streams previewing new songs, and on the 20th would preview over 30 songs and announce 3 new projects in the works: a SoundCloud exclusive mixtape, Forever Young, and Love is Rage 3. On July 16th, 2021, Uzi would announce another project he's working on called Pink Tape, but was still working on Forever Young. However, updates would slow down on Forever Young and would eventually be scrapped altogether around March 2022. The SoundCloud exclusive mixtape called Red and White would officially release in that same year, and the longly anticipated album Pink Tape would finally release in June 2023. After the release of Pink Tape, Uzi would announce Love is Rage 3 again, a new project called Carter 16, and re-announce Forever Young as his quote last album, which obviously wasn't true.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Like mentioned earlier, Pink Tape was first announced on July 16, 2021, along with many other projects that would never become a thing. Uzi wanted to explore a more experimental melodic sound, but with rage rap for the project. However, this wouldn't last long.
What was that? Oh, my hair. Oh my god.
After reuniting with Playboi Carti and being inspired by his style, Uzi would change the name from Pink Tape to Delta Pink, would introduce a new persona called Astro Cat, release the lead single called Demon High on October 29th, 2021, and make multiple appearances.
2029?
However, during this era, Uzi would go through rehab for 7 months due to his Xanax addiction, which would impact Pink Tape heavily, scrapping the project entirely and going with a different approach. Uzi would reach the end of his rehab and return back to social media in April 2022, and in July, released his SoundCloud exclusive mixtape Red and White. The reception for this mixtape was mixed, leading to Uzi rethinking Pink Tape and playing with different aesthetics. After a little bit, the album was ready to be released in December 2022. However, because Uzi didn't put a song called Believe Me on Red and White, apparently his label put him in timeout, forcing the album to be delayed, and would end up having a shift in its creative direction with a more darker and experimental rock vibe in January 2023. After teasing the album would release in the end of June at a live performance, the project was finally released on June 30th, 2023 with an experimental rage rock feel. Super Geeky was a collaboration album between Uzi and Yeet that was first teased on December 12, 2019 when Yeet would tweet, "Me and Uzi gonna have a collab tape," but this project wouldn't happen until early 2022 when the two would link up to work on the album, which
with the Yeet, I'm telling you, 2022 Yeet. Oof, man. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the old days, bro. Like I said, I'd be glazing Uzi back then. I still glaze Uzi to this day? Probably. Yes, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Started in January 2023 when the two started working together after a while, and the existence of this project was first made aware when a DM between the two was shared, showing one of them saying, "Send the tape." According to an insider, the project was called Metro Pink and was meant to be released in early 2023 before Pink Tape would release. Unfortunately, the project never came together due to both artists being busy with other stuff, like Metro working on the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack and his collaboration album with Future, while Uzi still had Pink Tape to work on.
For the next movie, they better
After
do
the release of Pink Tape, Uzi would first start teasing his upcoming album, Barter
so
16, in July 2023, a project that paid homage to Young Thug and his mixtape Barter 6, released in 2015, and this would be made more obvious when the cover for the project was released on Young Thug's birthday on August 16th. Uzi made many fake promises on when the project would release, like when he said he would drop the album on Destroy Lonely's Life, or when Lil One DTE, an Atlanta rapper, reaches 100k followers on Instagram. In response to the many lies Uzi has made on release dates for the project, half of the album was leaked on August 19th by leaking group Monkey Mafia. The project
always gotta be leaking stuff, huh? There's always gotta be so many leaks. Come on now. I can't even see. But yeah, every time. Hey, that's why I have to delay, you know, like movies, but
promised to be released on September 17th, but obviously never happened, and the project is eventually scrapped altogether due to the leaks and fans' mixed response to the style Uzi was going with. Around late 2023, Uzi would announce he would be retiring soon and that his final album would be Love is Rage 3. According to Uzi, the album sound would be very similar to the first two albums, but nothing much else is known about the album. Uzi would release singles like NFL and Red Moon during this era, all while teasing Love is Rage 3. Apparently, the album was done and was in the process of being mixed in February 2024, but Uzi would later state he wasn't retiring anytime soon. And according to Uzi's ex-assistant's testimony in an unrelated lawsuit, Uzi started working on a new project in that same month, most likely confirming that Uzi scrapped Love is Rage 3.
So we have to wait.
On November 1st, 2024, Eternal Take 2 would be released and would receive heavy backlash by fans. Uzi would attempt to try something new by wearing all white clothing and release 2 new songs exclusively on YouTube called Hellraiser and Double C. The new songs and Uzi wearing all white clothing would also receive backlash by fans, leading to both songs getting removed from YouTube. But Uzi would state he was just testing the waters and would go silent on social media until May 5th, 2025, when he would return and tease a summer tape on the 25th. When he would return and tease a summer tape and on the 25th remove all white from his bio.
Whoa. You just said that twice. What? Whoa. Huh? Wait, did he drop a song last summer? I don't remember.
To You, standing for What Happened to Uzi. According to an insider of the music industry, the album was planned to drop in August, and in that same month, Uzi began sharing a lot of snippets for the upcoming album, showing the direction of the project. But unfortunately, because of this, he got in trouble with his label again, leading to the album being delayed or possibly scrapped. Because of this scandal with this label and his past issues with this label that we've talked about, Uzi began focusing on his own label called 16 Records.
Video, bruh. Yeah, y'all. I got work tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably edit this today and post this. Probably. I don't know. Let's see.